Hi, this is Blake from North Winds Wilderness School. Uh, Welcome back to our beautiful campus. With everything we've been teaching this summer about foraging and plant identification and plant medicine making and all the things that are going on in the world just with foraging gaining popularity, I thought it would be worth talking about foraging for a minute. There's kind of a few things that we like to tell all of our students. First, I get asked a lot, why foraging? And there's several reasons. First of all, it's fun. For me, second is when I go out into nature and I harvest food, I know where it's coming from. I know that it lived its natural life cycle, whether it be plants or animals. It was born in nature, it grew in nature, and I harvested it in nature and I brought it home to feed my family. Also, it really connects people to the plants and to the land. You really have to get to know the areas that you're foraging in. You need to know when the cattails are going to come ripe or which part of the cattails are going to come ripe. You need to watch the choke cherries to know when they're ready to harvest. You know, we've got some milkweed back here, and I know those pods are still edible because I've been watching them. And finally, in the 21st century, we've sort of come to this place where we view nature through screens, whether it be through the windshield of your car, through your TV, through your smartphone. A lot of us aren't actually getting into nature. And as the amount of wilderness area shrinks, what we're finding is that people are more apt to protect things that they love and that they use rather than things they see through screens. So if we can get people out into nature, get people foraging, they're going to see the land, they're going to connect to nature, and they're going to really want to protect those wild places. Now, when it comes to foraging, there's a few things that are important to know. First, and this is very, very important, do not put anything in your mouth unless you are 100% certain what it is. If you think it might be a raspberry, don't eat it. If you're pretty sure that's a morel, don't eat it. We don't want you going out and getting ill or injured. We want you going out and having fun and collecting healthy food. Second, please don't take more than you're going to use, and don't throw away anything that you take. Bears eat this stuff, deer eat it, foxes and raccoons eat it. All these animals are relying on this food. Plus, we want to make sure that the populations of the foods propagate. So go out, harvest food, take it home, process it however you want, eat it however you want, but please don't take more than you need and don't throw anything away. A couple of really important things to keep in mind are you really want to know where you're foraging. Sides of the highway is not a good idea. Airport runways are probably not a great idea. Sewage runoff, train tracks, all these places get sprayed with chemicals. So you want to make sure that the food you're harvesting is safe. If you're harvesting from waterways, know what's in the water. A lot of plants like cattails filter the water. They clean impurities out of the water. So whatever is in the water is going to be in your food. Also, everywhere we forage, there's going to be different rules, different laws. And unless you're on private land that you have permission to be on, it's really going to be up to you to know these rules. Some places you can harvest nuts, berries, mushrooms. Some places you can dig up roots and cut down trees. But you need to know which is which, and you need to be able to prove it. You cannot go of the assumption that the people working in these places are going to know the rules. Twice, I have been told by people working in parks that I could not forage in places where the written rules said I could. So it's very important that you know the rules and make sure you can prove that you know the rules. Furthermore, it's going to be very important for you to not only learn how to identify the plants, but get to know these plants a little bit. Some plants can handle heavier foraging, some can't. A couple examples that I like to use are wild leeks or ramps. If you dig them up, that plant is gone forever. If you remove one or two leaves, the plant is still there. It can continue living and growing. It takes a very long time for a ramp seed to maturate. If you go in and decimate a ramp patch, it's not going to recover. The way we harvest ramps is we take 1 or 2 leaves off of each plant, leaving at least 2 leaves on each plant. And we skip every 5th plant. And then we go back later in the season and make sure the seeds are getting spread, that they're not staying on those stalks. Ostrich fern is another great example. It takes a long time for those root balls to grow. And then when the fiddleheads come up in the spring, everyone gets really excited because they're delicious and you can only get them for a couple weeks a year. But if you take all of them, you're killing that plant. You're depriving it of sunlight and rain that it needs to continue living. Those big fronds are designed for gathering sunlight and rain. So please, when you're harvesting these things, only take what the plant can handle. On the other end of the spectrum, we have things like stinging nettle and cattails that, for the most part, you can harvest however much you want. I mean, don't go into the bulldozer and cut down a whole patch, but as long as you're going to use it, if you're going to eat it or to make tea out of it or make medicine out of it, you can take what you need, because stinging nettles grow really fast and they have very healthy populations. Cattails grow really fast and they have really healthy populations. So again, knowing the plants. Once you do get out and you're foraging, if you see things that you're not sure what they are, please don't pick them and take them home to take pictures. Leave it in the ground, take your pictures, use a ruler or a quarter or a dollar bill or something for size reference, and then you can use that to try to get an identification online via Facebook or whatever. But when you pull it out, then you've killed it, not knowing what it is. And also, when you pull it out, it's going to look different than it looks in the ground. So please leave the plants in the ground until you know for sure what it is. Moving forward, books are great, but it's a really good idea to take some classes. I don't care if they're with us or with someone else. As long as you're with an expert in the field who knows these plants, who can show you how to harvest them, how to identify them, how to prepare them, how to preserve them, and how to eat them. We want you to go out, we want you to have fun, we want you to enjoy foraging. So if you have any experience with this, please leave us a comment, leave us a like. We love shares. Thank you for watching. Have a great afternoon. See you next time.